Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Rangers Reviews post-match briefing after today's comfortable victory, as it turned out, at Tynecastle. I'm joining you from Tynecastle. The weather has been all over the place, as you can see. At the moment, it's very windy. About 70 minutes in, you'll see here at the top of the screen, it's a little kind of almost rain box to stop your laptop getting soaked, because there was a bit of a monsoon at one point, so I'm battling through the elements to bring you the post-match reaction today. But that was a fantastic performance, all tolls from Rangers, and they fully deserved their 3 points. The red card comes into it, and it sort of changes the game in a way. But even before that, I thought Rangers were by far the better team. The first half in a way was quite similar to the 2-0 game here back in December, when that was one of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's first games in charge of Rangers, and today was just much better. It was by far the best performance of the season for me because of how, certainly domestically, how dynamic it was. The attacks were quick, there was the energy there. I think the type of game that this was kind of created that atmosphere for Rangers to play into, but nonetheless, we've seen them go away to Celtic Park and Easter Road and struggle to rise to a game, even if it does have a bit of tempo. And just I guess positives all over the pitch. And Robbie Nielsen was just speaking about how the red card impacted the game, and I think that's of course true. Certainly the 2 late goals, but even before that, you had Scott Arfield go through 1-on-1. You had the moment where Scott Arfield should have gone through 1-on-1, but Ryan Jack failed to slip him in. You had the goal that was chopped off. So there was, numerous moments. I don't think anyone would say that had the game been 11 versus 11, Rangers couldn't have went and added another goal or two. Anyway, for me, as I say, regardless of the red card, I thought Rangers were brilliant, and the red card was, the most clear red card you'll see all weekend. Cynical stamp from Devlin, moment of madness. And that did make the Rangers task easier. But yeah, lots of positives. So let's talk about them and do get them in the comments if you want to speak about anything in particular. The first one, of course, Antonio Cholak, 2 more goals, 8 goals in 8 league starts, but it's even better than a goal a game if you look at, he's not played the whole 90 minutes all the time. Alfredo Morelos comes off the bench to score, but Cholak's finishing. I think the game suited him because of the way Hearts pressed Rangers. They kind of sat off the centre-backs, marked up the midfield options to force them long, and then didn't deal with it when it did go long. Rabbi Matondo and Ryan Kent were dynamic on either flank. They really stretched the play. It's the best Matondo's looked in a Rangers shirt. For me, I still think there's things he'll improve on and he'll get better, but that assist in particular was a moment where you see that's what he can bring, and hopefully he can bring it from the right wing where Rangers have constantly chopped and changed. Ryan Kent, his best performance in the league since you fill in the blank, a long time. Hopefully best performance both individually, hopefully you can still hear me over the lawnmower, and collectively allows Rangers to go and build on it, because they needed this. And coming into this game, it was a must-win. We spoke about that before the game. Not only because they need to build momentum, but they needed to capitalise on the chance to go top, even if it only is for a couple hours. Celtic obviously in action this afternoon, but that was by far a better showing than anything they've offered this season. They needed something to turn a corner, to build momentum, and they got that this afternoon at Tynecastle. So let's go through some of your comments. Great performance by us, and Liverpool are down 2-0. Is that right? I don't know if that's right. I'm going to take your word for it. If that is right, then that is quite the managerial debut from De Zerbi. Hope G was watching and taking notes. Yeah, well, I'm sure as they leave the stadium this afternoon, their attention will quickly turn onto mid-week. Mark says, do that against 11 men, and we're talking, well, they did do it against 11 men for the first however long, and it's not, obviously, Rangers can't control the fact that Devlin got sent off. I think they were going to win that game comfortably regardless, as I say, because of the way that they approached it, the intensity they played it. And McCluskey says that they did do it against 11 men. It was 2-0 when he was sent off. Ali, good friend of the show, more like it. Ryan Kent scored. Wow, he's back. Yeah, Kent's goal at the end. It might be against 10 men, but how many times have we seen Kent chopping on his right foot and not finish in the last wee while? His cross was excellent. I thought he looked much more like himself throughout the entirety of the game. And hopefully, as you say, Ali, that's him playing himself back into form. The manager continued to trust him. We spoke in the week, I think it was last week, I wrote an article about playing Matondo and Kent together. I said maybe you could try Matondo from the left. But I thought with him from the right and Kent from the left today, because of the space Rangers had to play into, that worked really well. Robert says getting back to Our game, McCluskey says that disallowed third goal shocking. Yeah, it looked very, very soft from the angle I was sitting at. A couple of comments asking about Davies, who came off at half time. Van Bronckhorst said, he's just said to Sky, so I'm taking his word for it. I'll read you the quote just now. He was asked, is Ben Davies okay when he came off at half time? Van Bronckhorst says, yes, he's okay. He was on a yellow. And with all the balls coming into our back line, as you saw in the second half, we decided to put in James and make sure we stayed with 11 on the pitch this time. So imagine an element of precaution, because of the yellow card, but also with a view to Tuesday. I imagine Ben Davies will play there, given James Sands is suspended and Leon King is the only other option, and he's obviously still a young player. There'll be a lot to throw him into that game. I thought Davies, you saw with the ball at his feet, he looked quite tidy in patches, played a nice couple of balls through the lines. Got dragged into the midfield once by Lawrence. I think that's when he got his yellow cards. But there's some positive signs for him. For me, watching that, Derek saying Big Lunny was class, shoved the ball over the pitch, and it was obviously his pass into Matondo that created the second. I agree with you, Derek. I gave him an 8 in the player ratings because I thought he just ran the midfield. Exactly what Rangers need in these types of games. And he was brilliant. Yeah, Liverpool a good time. Brighton 2-0 up. That is a surprise. You never know, I guess, when one team goes in good form and the other bad. I still think it'll be a tough task on Tuesday, but obviously we'll have loads and loads of build up to that. Just should remind you folks, subscribe on YouTube. Do give us a like as well if you enjoy the content. That really helps us out. And then you can subscribe to the website below. It's just £1 for 2 months. That's cheap as anything. Cheaper than one paper you get in one day, but you get the content for 2 months. We're going to have tactical analysis of this game. We'll have a colour piece looking back at it. Already lots of content on the website for you, looking at the performance in more detail. And then we'll be looking ahead. We'll maybe look at what Brighton did against Liverpool. You can see the rain's coming back on. So do go over and subscribe. The link, is in the description. And if you enjoy our work on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it if you support us by subscribing over on the website. Ali says Matondo did a lot better, can improve as well. I agree with you, Ali. I think it was a better performance. Again, something to build on. Just getting the sideways rain, obviously, in the main stand is absolutely horrible. I thought it was better. I didn't think it was an amazing performance by Matondo, but I thought it was a lot better. And that quality for the second goal, we've not seen enough of that. It's something that it was on my Twitter feed if you want to go and look at it. Something that in the scout report we wrote about him initially. We said how because he has that pace to go down the line and he's so quick, you see the way the defender kind of almost overcompensates for that, and it allows him to kind of access that inside route. He did that really well, checked brilliantly. Cholak's run and his goals per game ratio already is just so impressive. What a signing he's looking to be already. But no bad thing to get a few players coming into form. I thought there was good performance all over the pitch. And actually, consider as well, Arfield could have had 2 easily. Not only the disallowed goal, but when he goes through 1-on-1, I thought Ryan Jack should have slipped in Arfield better. Arfield, a couple of opportunities where the final ball should have been better. So just lots of positives all over for Rangers, and I thought they defended well. Also, obviously, Alan McGregor back in goals with John McLaughlin on the bench. That's certainly another talking point to get into this week. Roy says we were well on top when they had 11 players. Why Arfield's goal was disallowed is beyond me. As an ex-ref, I try not to criticise, but I thought that was a rank rotten performance. Let's keep going down through some of the comments. Yeah, some more reaction here to Brighton beating Liverpool 2-0. I'm looking forward to watching that back. Aldo says jury's still out on Matondo. I thought he was good today, Aldo. Still elements he can improve on. Nonetheless, Derek saying, yeah, Gio says Davies was fine. He just took him off due to the yellow card. I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes of questions. It'll be slightly shorter, but I think you'll forgive me given the weather. Yilmaz not getting on the bench, on the pitch. Yeah, obviously the manager spoke about that in midweek in his press conference. But I think the positives were that Morelos comes on and scores, Kent gets his goal, and Rangers obviously wrap up the game quite emphatically. We're going to leave it here at the moment because of the weather. I hope you'll excuse that. But I don't want my laptop to get absolutely soaked as it is just now. And we're going to be live, and maybe we'll do a little bit tomorrow. We're not entirely sure on that, but certainly lots and lots of content coming your way in the lead up to Liverpool. Please do go and subscribe to the website and support our work. Lots of analysis to come from the game today. The link's in the description and the comment section. Until then, that was a great game to watch. Hope you enjoyed it. Some much needed positivity, I think, from the Rangers squad to go and build on. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and I will speak to you very